use English very often, because the more you use it, the better you get at it. And for if you want to be, good at comprehending English, listening to people speaking English.
Hello, I am Moriah and I'm going to be your host for today. Well, today we are going to meet with a guest speaker coming from Leaderland English Academy. Well, Leaderland English Academy, short known as LEA, is established to prepare learners from the age of 13 and above to meet their needs in the use of the English language, whether for the daily communication, academics, social, or professional life. The general English program of LEA revolves in these three main themes: leadership, entrepreneurship, and technology. The foundation of these themes is English. Display of the leadership plays a big role in our daily interactions with the student, and leadership roles are provided to students in many occasions. And now, without further ado, let's meet one of LEA's pioneer and has been with them for almost 4 years. Please welcome Mr. Chhivhouy.
Thank you, Moriah. Once again, hello everybody. My name is Chhivhouy. I am a former student and is now a graduate of LEA, Leaderland English Academy. I'm glad to be here. I'm very honored to be here, and thankfully I've been for quite some time in Leaderland, and I am qualified enough to give my opinion on why you should study in Leaderland and why it is a good school for English learners.
So now I'm going to ask you some questions. So let's start with, can you describe Leaderland? Can you describe how it is?
Thank you, Moriah. That is a very good question. So, based on my perspective or based on my experience, Leaderland English Academy is first off, when I was here for the first time since the grand reopening, and it was, very shabby. There wasn't too much going on, but as the more I study in Leaderland, the more it progressed, the more it, gets better. It's a lot more active and lively. Students are more interactive with each other. They're very nice. And the activities, especially project-based learning on each project term, it's very fun. It's very innovative. It helps students improve on different ways of their skills, like life skills, for example. Like last term, we had a business creating project, which helps students start their own business as groups. I've seen how my juniors did their business, and it's very nice. I love how innovative and productive they can be. And thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chhivhouy. Moving on to the next question is, what makes you feel excited about LEA? Can you describe about the activities, about your friends, about your teacher, and your school environment?
Thank you once again. So to start off, I'll describe about the teachers. The teachers, they're very nice. I've never had very warm and welcoming teachers. And in my old English school experience, the teachers are, how do you say this? They're strict and they're not very welcoming. In Leaderland English Academies, the teachers, they treat us as human beings. They treat each other equally, and they're very nice, they're very warm to the students. They're very friendly, you can even joke around with them, they're not too serious. And the students, they're very lively, they're very active, they're very nice at each other, they can be goofy, but it's all fun. And activities-wise, I'd say it's very fun. There's a lot of things you could do. You could, let's say for example, you could study in the library for some peace and quiet. You can have fun practicing using the computer in the computer lab, for example. There's also even the auditorium where where public speaking are placed, where talks are placed there. And thank you.
Thank you so much for that wonderful answer, Mr. Chhivhouy. So moving on to the next question, what was your learning expectations at LEA, and how did you overcome the challenges? Well, explain about your learning situation during the pandemic and how LEA provided and continued good teaching quality to you. Can you describe that, please?
Thank you. So I wasn't expecting much. Like I said, LEA at the start, there wasn't much going on, so I wasn't expecting much. I expected it as only an English school that could give me better English learning. But as the more I study, it gets better. The expectation definitely went above what I expected. It's very fun. Like the thing that I could say the most in LEA, like from when I've studied in LEA, it's very fun. There are so many things you could do. You could interact even with teachers. You could even consider the teachers as your friend. And like what you said during the pandemic, yeah, we had online learning. It was still very fun. It's still more fun. It could even be considered more fun than learning in real life. Online learning, we studied, as you know, through Zoom, and I'd say the only problem with online learning is the problem with connection, because there were too many people sharing like service connection, so it could be laggy at times, but it's still doable, and yeah, it's still wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Hui. So now moving on to our next question. What significant result that you have achieved at LEA? Well, I've heard that you have passed the TOEFL exam with a really high score, so can you tell us about that?
Thank you. My biggest achievement in LEA is just being able to graduate an English school with a passing grade, with a high passing grade to be exact. And some of you may know me, I got 600 on the TOEFL score, which was an amazing and a wonderful achievement, which I'm very proud of myself. And yeah, well, what my only advice I could give you is to just use English very often, because the more you use it, the better you get at it. And if you want to be, good at comprehending English, listening to people speaking English, if, let's say, for example, you heard a word that you've never heard before, first thing you should do is to Google or to find out what the word means. And you don't want to remember what that word means. After you find out what it means, you want to try and use it on sentences very often. Like, for example, the word consequences. I did not know what consequences mean until I found out what it means, and then I've used it a few times, or well, several times in a sentence, and then the more you use it, the more you get used to it, and it will just come out of random whenever you're speaking English. And yeah, and second thing is, my second advice for people who want to be able to comprehend English a lot easier without, too much issue, is using common sense is what I always tell people. By using common sense, I mean by trying to comprehend English, well, based on how correct it sounds from the speaker. For example, someone said, "I pizza eat." That sounds very wrong, right? So whenever you're using common sense, you know that I pizza eat. That's wrong. It's not in a correct order. So as you learn English more, your common sense will start to kick in on advanced level English, and you'll be able to determine whether that sentence or the way the speaker is speaking is correct or not. And yeah, that's all of the advice I could give you. I hope your English learning will be better.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chhivhouy, for such an amazing recommendation or advice to our viewers. So now for our last question, well, can you recommend LEA to our newcomers, please?
Thank you. Once again, of course, I would definitely recommend LEA to newcomers or to English learner who wants to improve their English comprehensive and proficiency ability. Yeah, Leaderland has given me opportunities to be able to massively improve how I'm able to understand English. I remember in my old school, I was not really improving much. My accent on English was still, your typical normal people accent, the English learner accent. As when I came to LEA, my accent drastically improved from normal English learner accent to American. Sometimes I switch to British accent like that. It happens randomly so often. But yeah, I would definitely recommend LEA for new learners who wants to try out a new English and innovative English learning experience. It could be very fun. Who knows? You could make some new friends. You could make friends with even the teachers even. And yeah, thank you once again for having me. I'm very honored.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Hui. Is there anything else that you would like to say to our viewers? Your closing?
Well, the one thing for sure is I hope your English studying, well, will drastically improve. I hope my advice could help you. Even just a little bit, I'll still be happy. And just try to use English often. If you have a partner who can speak English with you every day, then try to communicate with them as much as possible. One day, who knows, your English will be even better than native speakers, for example. Yeah, and that's it for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chhivhouy. So, guys, that is it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in with us, and I hope that you guys had a great time. Please don't forget to like and share this video. Goodbye.